Thanks, Anna.
Forever. Forever. Very wrong.
You are now live on Channel 8 YouTube.
Good evening, everybody. We're here at the town of Templeton's zoning board of appeals. It's Tuesday, January 7th. We're starting a little late at 6:30, 2025. And can we pledge allegiance to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So-
Let's do that
Do that after.
after. Okay.
Go ahead with the continuance.
We're gonna rearrange. We're gonna do number 2 first. We're gonna continue the hearing for the 280 State Road Carworks.
Which you need. a
Public
motion
hearing.
for.
Which what was it?
You need a motion.
Yeah, I need a motion to reopen.
Make a motion to open a meeting for 280 State Road for Carworks.
And I'll second the motion.
It's good to me. But I'd like to say something before we get started and talk to the audience at all. I was told last night that the zoning board of appeals has no jurisdiction on Concom matters, period. That's up to the state and the Concom. This meeting should have never started evidently. I had seen the owners of the property prior to the meeting that they had for this. And suggested to them to go to the Concom commission and see what they could do. How it got here and how we started on it. I guess it's a mistake all the way around. I don't know. But what's gonna happen now is we're just gonna close the meeting and with no finding. Because we have no jurisdiction. I don't know if there's anything else that anybody wants to add. Go ahead.
So what got you here is that I gave them a citation
Right.
notice that they were in violation of their approved site plan.
Mhm.
So they appealed this, meaning that they disagreed with my determination, feeling that they were in compliance with their site plan. So is what is before you. It wasn't it wasn't a direct conservation issue. It was an issue whether or not they complied with the requirements of the site plan based on conservation and with the planning board. So my role as a building commissioner is they have to satisfy all requirements of any special permit issue before I give an occupancy permit. So I reviewed the work they had done, meaning paving further than what was on this approved site plans from planning board and conservation, which I did not believe they complied with it because they paved, in my opinion, more than they were supposed to. That's what got them before you because they appealed that. By them appealing, they were basically disagree with my determination that they were in violation of their site plan.
Still, the issue was in a buffer zone. And I'm under the understanding that we have no jurisdiction in buffer zones.
Well,
period.
you are correct that you don't have jurisdiction on Concom's regulations. You don't have jurisdiction on planning board regulations, but what was before you and still before you is whether or not you either agree with me that they are in violation of their approved site plan, or you agree with them saying that they followed their site plan and they are in conformance with their site plan, meaning that they comply with conservation regulations and the planning board regulations.
Okay, well, I've been to the site. I've looked at the overpaving, if you want to call it that. And I agree with you 100%. They've gone past what they were supposed to do. I think the owners of the place realize that and know it. I had thought it'd be all hashed out by now, but if you want a decision from this board on you, is that what you want?
That's what the letter says.
Okay. So I'll take a motion from the board. On what way we want to head with it, whether we want to.
Well, you
I don't
You
think
can
you
open,
can take
you can
it.
open the meeting up to let her speak. Joe.
Okay, go ahead.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Yes.
I'm just ahead of the board.
Katie LaGrade from 280 State Road, representing Carworks. 100% everything that you said is absolutely correct. The reason excuse me, that we appealed to you guys was not because we thought you were wrong. Like, yes, at the end of the day, we do realize that we paved too much. When we did the paving, we didn't realize that we were. We thought we were doing something that was within our purview that we have now realized is not within our purview. So the time between our appeal and now, we've basically met with our site guy. We have done another NOI through Concom and kind of worked through what we thought we were going to be able to do about actually only removing some of the pavement to still meet stormwater management, to still meet all the Mass DEP regulations and everything like that. So we have been actively working on that. And actually, if you have come to the site, we have actually taken up some of that pavement to the plan, the second NOI that we had sent into Concom. So that's not that we haven't been doing anything. We've been trying to get to that plan. The meeting that we had, I can't remember the date of it, it was the 18th. Sorry, I can't remember. The meeting that we had on the 18th was when Concom, we kind of basically came to the conclusion that there's no way that we can't split this baby now. We can't really go to the new plan. It's possible that we can, but it's just not the move that we're going to do. So now we realize that we do have to go back to the original plan. But now it's just a matter of time. We had Christmas week, we had New Year's week. Now we're dealing with frost and everything of that sort. So my thought of coming before you and with this meeting is we understand that you guys and Mr. Hanks can't sign off on a full occupancy. Like I understand that we're not to plan. However, what I'm hoping that we can do with some deadlines and timelines, because we know that we need to meet the specs for Concom. We know that we need to meet the specs for the site plan. If we can continue with our temporary occupancy so that we can continue to work, because this is going to cost us money to do this. And if we can't continue to work, it's going to be hard for us to come up with the money to take the pavement out. So we're asking for some.
I got a
leniency.
question. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You're all the,
Thank you.
then, hey, why can't, even though the ground is froze, can they go back now and just cut that asphalt where they is back as far as they can?
They'll peel right up. You
Yeah,
can't
they
be
would-
more
They
than
cut
2 or
that-
3 inches.
So otherwise,
They'll peel right
if
up.
they cut that asphalt up now, would that,
Well, that's only one prong of the site plan. The site plan also requires that they plant a certain amount of trees in certain areas, so that,
okay,
so it's
Yeah.
removing the pavement and also doing.
Pavement, trees, and we do have a stormwater.
Stormwater basin.
Thank you. And I always get that confused with the name. So there are, granted, yes, you're right. At this point in time, we probably could tear up the pavement. Yes. Can we plant trees in January?
No, that's.
No,
just obvious.
Can we dig a stormwater trench in January?
no.
Probably not gonna make it to where we need to. So
I got-
again-
Okay, I got one other question. Now, what has this been now? 3 months?
The enforcement order issued by conservation was in the end of August.
August, okay. Now, when did you tell the staff to stop working on this, supposedly?
With the enforcement order at end of
Okay,
August.
now one of my question is, between then and now, why couldn't you have done something?
We were under the impression, due to the enforcement order, that from August until we had our meeting in November, that we were not to do anything on the property because of the enforcement orders. We were told to stop working, not do anything. And we had talked about that in Concom.
Okay,
Then in November, when we had the meeting and we met and we spoke about trying to start bringing the property to the new plan, kind of trying to meet in the middle
Right.
until we received
Right.
Concom's notes on the
Yeah.
plan. We actually, I believe it was the next week that we ripped up the
Yeah.
pavement to make it so that it was to that
Yeah.
plan. So we did start working
Yeah.
in that direction.
Yeah.
So we did start doing some of that
Yeah.
movement.
don't get me wrong, I'm not against you or anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I understand.
I'm not against you at all.
How much time are you gonna be looking for if you wanted to, extend it?
I can tell you that we can probably rip up the pavement. I mean, as long as it will come up. I mean, I can't say nature, but I can't imagine that it won't.
I don't feel right.
I would say a couple of weeks to maybe get that put up, but again, we can't plant trees in January.
No,
So that and
no.
digging the trend, the stormwater, I mean, I think I have to, I don't think I could give you a timeline because of frozen ground.
Well, I think you could probably dig now, even on the ground. You could dig. But you can't plant
Right,
trees, we know that. Cause I mean, they dig all year round. I mean, but the thing is, they can't plant trees now, we know
Oh,
that.
Yeah, and my only concern with digging, I understand, is that we are, like, we're on a wetland, so with it being some saturated, I mean, probably could, I don't know, I couldn't tell you
Hank
until we
could
put
probably
a,
answer that question.
Well, actually, it would, if you're able to break ground, it would be the perfect time to dig because we're in a critical drought status. So the ground is not that saturated right now. And with it being frozen, you wouldn't have to worry about a lot of saturation.
Yeah.
If you could.
yeah, that's the thing, I don't know if we can.
My questions, Mr. Hanks. I don't know if we could even do it, but if they were to rip the asphalt up within a couple of weeks, would you consider doing something with as far as I know it's past time with the trees and
So,
the drainage? I mean, give them a little more time.
well, what I would entertain is, number one, you all should make a determination on what's before you.
Right.
Then as far as them coming to compliance, I think that's something we all can work out. So if they, would you be agreeable to say by the middle of April that you could be successful and have the whole site completed?
1000%.
So, so.
All right, that
Sure.
works.
Well, so
So-
your
Go ahead.
direction from Concom was that the enforcement order had to be complied with and then a site plan would be submitted to get an COC. And then you'd have to go to planning board and get site plan from them as well.
I guess didn't understand, we have to do another site plan even if we're going to the original?
An as-built.
It's an as-built, thank you, sorry.
So once you complete the site.
Yeah.
You're gonna follow your original plan submitted. It's gonna show you where the trees need to be planted. It's gonna show you where the pavement is allowed to be. Then your site engineer comes out and certifies that. They do what's called an as-built saying, yes.
Oh, okay, so this
This
is
was-
something that would have, pardon me, would have been done no matter.
Yes.
Either way, yes.
Still look at it in the end, right? Yeah.
Okay,
I have one question, and I watched a meeting on YouTube with the Conservation Commission. And it seemed like the representative you had there didn't want anything to do with it and wanted to run off the DEP and get a decision. Is he gonna continue with that if we do this for you?
oh, no, so we're under the impression, and so he was under the impression that with the second NOI, that there was the ability for Concom to basically say, we'll close out the first one pending that we're gonna go to the second one. That's what Greg was under the impression that we could do. I have heard from other people that it is possible, but it is in the purview of Concom to make that decision. They have chose not to make that decision, which is again in their purview to do. So then that means we have to go back to the first one and we understand that. So no, we're not moving forward anything with DEP because we don't believe they can't come in and do anything.
I agree with what Katie said. The Conservation Commission cannot issue any further permits on 280 State Road until the enforcement order is satisfied. That is the verbiage that was used in their specific enforcement order. It states that no permits can be issued on that site. So their engineer was, I'm assuming, trying to go off of maybe what they've done in other
Mhm.
towns, but not specifically looking at the violation that was issued to their site, and conservation cannot contradict their own violation order. They cannot issue them another permit. Also, Mass DEP is our governing authority, and their recommendations were to not issue another permit until the original one was closed out. So at the December meeting, the Conservation Commission refrained from issuing anything on the second permit and advised them to follow the enforcement order and the original order conditions. That's where it stands with conservation. So agree with everything you
So
said.
you think April?
Hmm?
Continue your.
Well, that's up to them. We're just here to vote on tonight. For the bill inspector's decision,
Mhm.
that whatever they decide to
Yeah.
April, May, whenever, that's up to them. But I don't know if this gentleman would like to speak.
Yeah, I'll ask him.
It's up to you.
If no,
She's going to go for a vote.
Yeah, I'm just bringing him up to see.
Yeah, bring him up to date and then. my opinion is if you can, if they'll go along with what you wanna do till April, then I'm all for it myself. I'm not trying to,
No, I know, and I understand that, you know, you weren't part of the other thing, so
yeah,
questions
No,
need to be answered as to why we weren't doing anything.
right,
And it's a good question. It's
Right.
because we were basically
Yeah.
told not to. So
Right.
that's why we stopped any, you
Yeah.
know, movement
yeah.
on anything on the property.
All right, so if the other owner wants to add anything while you're here, I'm more than happy to hear from you.
You don't say that.
No questions? Entertain a motion that we the decision on the building inspector's decision.
I make a motion on 280 State Road, Carworks, that we make we vote on that the building inspector's decision to have have pavement and everything ripped up.
No,
Hold on.
no, not exactly, no.
We need
So your motion would be uphold my determination.
Well, to uphold the business,
vote whether he erred in his decision or not.
Would we have to have another meeting in April?
No.
No,
We wouldn't have to have.
Unless they don't get it done.
Unless they don't
say
get it done.
something.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
before we make it.
I don't know if we have the plans anywhere. The existing driveway that was there,
off the state road.
correct, goes pretty close to the building. Would I be allowed to manipulate it? The location to meet my garage door? I mean, it'd probably be same square footage. Instead of coming straight in, we'd just cut all that out and just replace it in front of the door. We're talking feet.
Would that involve a different curb cut though?
Screwed up.
No,
No, no.
So you keep the location where it is, but then it's gonna swoop
correct.
over.
Yeah, so like I would take from
Yeah,
the garage door. String a line to the curb,
The existing curb cut.
correct. And I'll cut all the rest of it out. I mean, it's,
So I can't answer that part because that's a conservation side of things. Yeah,
The as-built has to match the plans that you submitted. I'm concerned because your original plans do show a gap. So I'm not sure if that's a risk you want to take.
yeah, but it's not that much of a gap in square footage of pavement. Probably would be either less or just about the same if we just curve it to
I
that
understand what
door.
you're saying, but I can't change your plans either.
So,
Plans have to
I'm not
change,
sure.
correct?
Huh?
The whole plans have to change, correct?
Right, and right now, they're unfortunately in a state where plans can't change. So I'm not sure.
see,
That's a risk you wanna
initially
take.
on your building plan, the door
Yeah.
lined up with the pavement, but then you moved it over. So I think it was so you had more.
Well, there was no door on the plan.
Well, there was one.
I don't think-
No, it was just a driveway there, right? Just came in where you parked.
Yeah, the original driveway,
Yeah,
which
You only had. one
goes
door in front.
probably 2, maybe 3 feet to my current building. I'm just asking if I can. So all this pavement gone, all that pavement gone. And just match to the door.
So I think what would have to happen is you would first have to follow the enforcement order. Then, without a fee to you, because I think the fees that you paid here certainly cover you going before the planning board. I believe the planning board would have to look at your plan and approve what you want to do. It sounds like it could be done, but they would.
I mean, technically, what we've done could be done. As of now.
But I think that we have to comply with the enforcement,
yeah,
get the plan.
Get it done.
And then
and then go back to the planning board.
Just come to the planning board.
Well, I'm not gonna do that because it's gonna cost me even more money.
I just said we wouldn't charge you.
You wouldn't charge me
Who's
What?
going to charge you?
to repave it.
Okay, I'm missing something. I'm sorry. I apologize.
All right, so where the existing driveway was is 2-3 feet from the building.
Mhm.
My garage door is here, driveway's here. On the plan, the driveway to State Road. So all of this I have to dig up.
Okay.
So why can't I just shift it from here to there? You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't think it's gonna cost, well, it's costing me money, but as far as conservation, I don't think it's gonna mess with anything, because the square footage of the pavement from State Road is gonna be close. It could be, I mean, I don't know. I didn't measure it all out.
So what you're saying basically is you're not using any more of a buffer zone by moving the driveway a little bit.
Correct,
Than the way it was.
correct.
Makes sense to me. We're not the ones trying to make it
I
sense.
know, I know.
Sorry, I wish.
So I know, but
You can't.
these are questions that I have to ask moving forward.
Here's what, way this meeting started. I kind of explained to everybody last night. I learned a little bit too about what goes on when it comes to Concom. Now, when Concom comes in and makes a decision, we can't change that. We have no jurisdiction. And when I went to see you, that's why I said, go see them. I don't think we can touch it.
Yep.
But we're here for,
Yeah,
This
we're here,
reason-
we're here, we're
okay,
here.
so all the square footage.
So I'm
and
just like,
all that.
so moving the driveway from this to that, to the door.
Makes
I
perfect
mean,
sense.
it's gonna be square footage. Or square inch, whatever you wanna call it. Pretty close. And I don't wanna dig it up to get the permission to redo it.
So do you have an original plan that shows where that was, the original paving? And how much square footage it was, and then could you, I'm just,
Yep. Okay.
then could you overlap? Have your engineer overlap what you're proposing?
I'm not, I'm done spending money. I'm trying to move forward.
Right.
I'm just trying to figure out what I can do.
I think because of where we're at, it needs to go to the original.
Whose side you on?
All we want to do here
No.
is the agreement. and get
Yeah, but
it
I'm trying to work with
But
you
listen to me,
guys,
the last
but make
thing-
it,
John, please,
Yeah, but that's
please.
not with us.
The
That would
last
be
thing
with-
we want to do is hurt you or your business financially. Please don't make us do that. I don't
no,
want to ever
I don't
see.
want you to do that.
Well,
I'm already
we're
there.
going down a road that's gonna end soon.
Yes,
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if it gets
Yeah, but
there, you're
so what
forcing
I'm-
us to do it.
what I'm saying is I want. All right, if we gotta stick with the plan. stick
That's
with-
where you're at. That's where you're at. And I agree with what you're saying, 100%, but it's not me.
We all
You
agree.
explain it just like that to somebody that is the decision maker. He's signing off and he's out the door because you change nothing when it comes to the saturation ability in that property.
Yeah.
If there was tar there before,
That it's the
That's
as-built
great.
match.
was there tar there before? That's gonna hit you. Because then they're gonna say, well, you're tarring here, we already gave you some, and I'm just thinking about how it could go.
Ron, I'm concerned that the as-built won't match. And that's what you need to get the enforcement order lifted and the COC.
Yeah, but you guys, don't you guys have the ability to accept it?
Enforcement order. You have to follow the original plans that's submitted.
Once the enforcement order is issued,
Yeah.
that's directing you to comply to your original plan.
And
Alright.
changes, to occur
I
after.
mean, it is what it is. I just had to ask a question.
Yeah.
You
I don't
know,
blame
We
you.
hope we answered them and
Yeah.
we've been as fair as we can about it. To our people and
well,
You know,
you guys.
that's why I came out there right away, Ron, because I could see it spiraling. And I'd hope that if you're gone to the Concom, maybe somebody could come and say, hey, what can we do? But I tried,
All right,
all you can do. That's why we're.
rip it all up.
So I just have one other question.
Sure.
So you guys are gonna basically say he is correct.
Yeah.
Which is which is what it is. Then it's gonna come before you and that's where we'll get the extension until April. Is that how that's gonna play out with
What-
still having a temporary occupancy?
So yeah, you need to come to me and then we'll work out an arrangement as far as the temporary goes. So you can think about when you think you can achieve this goal of getting this completed.
Okay, perfect. I just wanna understand the next steps forward.
That's fair.
Yes.
You happy with that? You're not happy. I'm
No,
just
I don't
saying,
blame-
oh,
no, I don't
Are
blame
we
you.
in an
I don't-
agreement to,
No, I mean, it
but not?
is what it is. I mean, I can't get shut down.
No,
So-
We don't wanna
no,
do
we
it.
don't want you to shut down.
I don't wanna set a precedent to hurt people like
You know,
that.
and
It comes to a point where you can only do what you can do. At the end of that, then it's just gonna hit the fan and happen what it's gonna happen. If you come through and do it, hey. Bad times are behind you, I'd say. This isn't gonna get any better, I don't think, till you do it.
I know this is not you guys, but Jessica.
Yeah.
Typical trees. Which is on a plan. What is typical trees? Can I plant those nice,
So your plans give you the specifications of the type of trees, the mature type of trees, the inches, how far into the ground. And I can show you that on your plans.
well, I seen that. It doesn't say what type of tree it is.
Okay, we can look at it together. You don't have-
Can I put fruit trees?
We can look at it together. We don't have to discuss it. Yeah.
Get something out of it anyways, right?
Huh?
Get something out of it anyway.
Yeah, right.
Now the
I-
kids
I
in the
want the
neighborhood will
trees,
take
but-
them all, pick the trees.
If I can make some jam or something.
Hey, your customers can pick apples while they're working on their
Yeah.
cars, right?
That works, yeah.
Yeah, Carworks jam.
Mr. Chair, you have a motion on the floor.
Okay, we got a motion on the floor.
Yeah.
And I'll take a,
The motion was to uphold the decision of the zoning enforcement officer.
Made that.
It was Joe.
I did.
I'll second it.
and we'll take a roll call vote. Dennis?
Yeah,
Joe?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Well, that's unanimous.
So now we gotta,
No, I'll get in contact with Mr. Hanks. and
So,
we'll-
so the two of you need to figure out your plan moving forward and how long you think it's going to take you to achieve this.
To get it so that it's 100% done. to
Right.
add to
So the pavement's up, the trees are planted. You get an as-built showing that you comply with the site plan, showing that you put the trees where it's supposed to be, the asphalt's where it's supposed to be. And then that's why you can issue the permit. Occupancy permit, but you have to talk amongst yourselves as to when you think you can achieve that.
Okay.
April, middle of April.
well, I mean, the big thing is. When is a good planting season, I guess.
not till April anyway.
so
You
to
can't
speak.
plant until April.
That's why we kind of brought it up was
Probably
April.
May, really.
So, you know,
Probably
that
May.
April.
I mean, I'm not a gardener, I'm a
Yeah,
kid,
we
so
have-
I don't know.
I'd like to look at it with you because I don't understand that either.
You're supposed to be planting mature trees. You're not supposed to be or like baby trees. You're not planting.
So you'll get.
No, I understand. That's why.
I don't know about that.
You'll be
I
getting a
think-
tree of a certain caliber that'll come with a root ball on.
Yes.
And they're dormant now. Theoretically, if you can dig a hole and put them in and then put mulch over them, they'll survive now. Might be a pain to dig a hole
Alright, so
now.
what if they don't?
Any tree that dies, you have to replant.
I wouldn't do anything till the end of
That's
April.
not on the plan.
No, to the end of
Just
April,
saying,
end of April would be good.
You need to have a motion.
Frost would be out of the ground. You don't do anything with frost out of the
Once
ground.
the frost comes out of the ground, it's definitely safe to plant a tree.
Yeah, oh, you can, but I'm saying for his benefit.
All right.
I mean, I'll plant the trees tomorrow, I don't. If they survive, they survive, If they don't, I don't wanna be responsible for them.
All right,
So that's why we're waiting until April.
now where do get?
Well, I believe the public hearing is pretty much come to
Done.
a conclusion here. If I can get a motion to close the public hearing that was just continued.
I'll make a motion to close the public meeting.
I'll second it. Take a roll call vote. Dennis?
Yeah,
Joe?
Yes.
And I am a yes also. Enough of that, huh?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
Good luck.
You have a good night.
And we'll be in touch
Yeah.
with both of you.
Okay.
Fruit trees.
Not wrong with fruit tree.
Thank you.
Well, the other thing, they won't get too tall.
No,
What?
they
They won't
won't.
get too tall.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, we don't
wanna-
want tall trees, cause I don't wanna mess up with the power lines, cause then I'm responsible.
That's what I'm getting at. You don't wanna, well, I don't think. you
No,
wanna
there's
plant-
miniature ones that.
No, no. They don't, a lot of them now, they only grow
That's good, right?
I didn't hear what he said, I'm sorry.
about
6
6,
feet
8
high.
feet high, most of them. You go up the Red Apple Farm, they're not even, they're little short things.
So we'll go over there and measure them. 3 inches, that's all I need.
Can I?
Good night.
And I,
Good night.
Night.
Have a good night.
I'm gonna go back to number one here, review the
Minutes.
minutes.
Yep.
Look at me,
Looks good to me too.
I'm just one. Make a motion, to accept the minutes as presented here.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of, January, June 18th.
September 17th.
I'm sorry,
September
September 17th. I'm looking at the date.
I'll second it.
Does it say 18th on it? It says June 18th. Review minutes of June 18th.
That's part of the agenda.
Uh,
It's okay.
I'm still
You
asleep.
can't argue with her.
You can.
Okay, I have a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion. I did.
Yeah, Ross, Dennis is,
I
you a yes vote now.
oh, okay, yes.
We need practice.
I'm
Come in for a dry run next time.
Yeah.
I vote yes.
That's unanimous.
Okay.
Good minutes again.
Did he
Very
know he had
Perfect. That's what we like to see.
to- Did he know we had to go to the conservation, I mean, for the town state before he did this?
I think we ought to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, he didn't, oh, I'm sorry, the meeting's still on.
These
Wait
people-
a second,
Make a motion to adjourn.
second.